it really well. And you got, like, George Clooney or Ben Stiller to direct it. I mean, like, you could make a movie about any day of the Trump administration that had a plot that was more scandalous than anything that has happened in any other U.S. presidential administration since there were cars.
Since there were cars? That's a long time! This is a big night for us, our 4th anniversary of the GG show. We actually threw a party to celebrate.
祝你生日快乐，祝你生日快乐，祝你生日快乐。
Now, the only way this show can exist is because other people made it possible. Now, I'm not talking about producers or writers or my massage therapist, Gunther. They're helpful, but I actually mean these fellas. See, it's also the 75th anniversary of D-Day, so it's important to remind us, and myself, that my freedom to be loud and obnoxious was made possible by them. Our abilities to be self-obsessed is owed to those who did the complete opposite. They fought so we can text each other emojis. They fought so I can binge-watch Gilmore Girls, a show I hated when it first aired. They fought so I could do this. By the way, I was Batman, and Lou Dobbs was Spider-Man in that video. But it's a fact. Hard lives, many of them cut short, led to our easy, longer lives. And all that time we have lets us dissect our problems as if they're huge things, but they're not. Not compared to what those guys faced. So here's a thought. If your life is a gift paid for by the blood of others who never made it off those beaches, it might be good to assess what you're doing with that gift. It might get you off your butt or find something else to do beyond writing unicorn fan fiction. I swear I'm quitting. So that's why Donald Trump was in London for the anniversary of D-Day. Of course, wherever Trump goes, entertainment follows. Now, I liked him at that dinner with the Queen because it's fun to see him on good behavior. He's like the little brother at his sister's first communion. You know, he's trying to keep his mouth shut and his eyes open, knowing that later there's going to be cake and it's going to have sprinkles. And yeah, there was an inflatable balloon, also known as the London Mayor. Of course, there was our media exporting their delusions across the pond.
For a president who would like to believe that he is royalty, this trip has got to be right up his alley.
The president claimed the protests are fake news. There they are for your own eyes to see. They are not.
President Trump heads now toward the end of this careening circus of pratfall embarrassments on this overseas trip.
All right. The definition of a delusion is seeing something that no one else sees. And I don't think anyone saw any pratfalls. But I guess when your collusion illusion collapses and your ratings follow, you'll say just about anything. But the reaction is just more of the media's wishful thinking overriding reality. They're like a kid with an active imagination. No, this isn't a cardboard box. It's an underground space bunker. But as usual, the focus on words, not deeds, creates a mental health problem. It's why in the best of times, they see only the worst. And so they dreamt of massive protests, fantasizing over humiliating spectacles that weren't to be. They wanted Trump to make a fool of himself, but instead, they looked a fool. Sure, there were protests, but instead of any debate, British liberals just threw milkshakes at people. And being lactose intolerant, I consider this a hate crime. And what a contrast from the actions of the brave men on D-Day. Anyway, so many things that are once British are now judged problematic by useless fools who throw milkshakes. I just saw a clip of the new James Bond film, and even that's been adjusted for modern times.
Where are you? Where's the bomb? You can't get away with this.
Oh, but James, I already have. By the time you track me down, it will be too late. Oh, James, you're so predictable. All I have to do is push this button and the building will be leveled.
There's only one thing that can stop a madman like you.
Wait! All right. But the best part of the week was seeing those old guys. That 75 years later, these heroes are still being told that what they did back then matters. Somehow, I don't think 75 years from today, in 2094, there will be an adoring crowd telling some punk how heroic he was throwing that milkshake, or how brave one was for facing down gender pronouns. Oh yeah, Doris, you really saved a civilization when in college you staged a sit-in over the use of ground beef on Taco Tuesdays. It makes you wonder, could we pull off a D-Day now? Yeah, our military still kicks ass. It's made of many young, brave people. It's just how our media culture frames things. The real heroes to them don't enlist, they resist. Which is why this week was so refreshing and so amazing. But it's a week brought to us by a lot of people who aren't here to see it. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's so patriotic, the American flag has a tattoo of him on its back. Fox and Friends weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. He once got drunk on root beer. Host of the quiz show on Fox Nation, evil genius Tom Shalhoub. And you'll quickly find that she speaks her mind. Host of Sincerely Cat, beginning Thursday on Fox Nation, a new show, Cat Tim. And superheroes watch movies of him. Former WWE superstar and host of Enough Said, or Nuff Said, beginning Wednesday, another new show on Fox Nation, Tyrus. All right. Pete, I could ask you two questions. What'd you think of the week? I thought it was a good week, so you don't have to answer that question. I just answered it for myself.
I agree.
We'll be right back. I'm interviewing myself for the rest of the show, Pete. How did you think Trump did on this show?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he went over there and did what you want an American president to do.
Yeah.
And they tried not just with the balloon and the milkshakes, but remember the Meghan Markle thing?
Yes,
Calling
yes.
her, I mean, they started the trip by trying to characterize him and put him in a bad light.
Yeah.
And he went there and represented our country and honored the legacy of these men the way you would want an American president to do so. Mm-hmm. So He comes back with even more credibility, which is why they hate him so much. He looked presidential because he is the president.
Yeah.
They forget that, right? That's what they want to undo. And I think, but he still makes the critiques about what Europe is getting wrong today. Which is they open their borders, they gut their militaries to pay for their welfare states, and they open their borders, and they don't demand assimilation and allegiance, and then they wonder why they are where they are. You wonder whether they could muster anything today. We got plenty of great GIs. We got a lot of problems around rules of engagement. Some great troops and our military ready to fight. Europe is AWOL on that.
But the reason why they can gut their military is because we don't.
Because of us.
Because we don't. But yeah, I mean that's an issue. And Tom, well done in the video. Excellent work. What do you think of the milkshake as a tool to protest with, being on the front end of it?
It's actually pretty effective, Greg. I had to hop right in the shower, and there's a lot of vanilla. It was very sweet.
Yes.
But I took it pretty well, didn't I?
Yeah, you did great.
I took that milkshake dead on. The New York Times wrote about milkshakes as a tool now, seriously, as if it's an actual thing that protesters are using, because they are. And they said that they kind of turned the tables because white supremacists are really into milk. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't. Apparently, the New York Times says white supremacists love milk.
Where do they get this stuff?
I have no idea.
Everybody drinks milk. Okay, here's how statistics work. If a lot of people enjoy one thing, then white supremacists are probably going to enjoy it. That's how it works.
Yes.
Tyrus, don't look at me like that. I am lactose intolerant. I can't drink milk.
Well, then you're not racist.
There you go. Thank you. Tom, would you care to finish whatever thought you had before I move on?
I mean, I think Trump did pretty well over there in Great Britain, and the pundits don't know what to do when he does well, because he gave what everyone seemed to think was a very good speech, about the World War II generation, and he gave a great tribute to them. And then you cut back to the pundits, who all they do is attack him every day, and they're kind of like, they had nothing to say.
Yeah, they actually, Jim Acosta actually complimented him begrudgingly.
He did.
And I'm not even sure what that means, Kat. Begrudgingly.
No.
No.
I know what it means.
Yes.
I think the biggest compliment, though, for Trump had to have been the big balloon baby. Because I think that you can measure your influence in the efforts that people are going to try and troll you.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been in the market for one. But I'd imagine that balloon baby is not cheap.
No, it's not.
Like, somebody probably missed their family vacation to put all that money toward balloon baby fund.
Yes.
That's how much he's affecting them. I would love it if I went to another country and there was a big balloon baby of me. I would not go see any other sites.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
I don't get that, though. I don't get that. I just get, like, mean tweets from people with no picture. So,
that's a shame.
I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah. Tyrus, when I watch Trump at these things, I feel like he reminds me of you. Or even me at these formal events where you got to be on somewhat of your best behavior. Come on. He's us.
You, me, and President Trump look alike in some form?
I'm talking about when you... No, we are not.
What are you taking?
We are non-politicians. So when you're... Look, I could never be a politician because I could never do these formal events. Ever.
I said, I thought he did well. He did a lot better than I would have.
Yes.
Like, old people scare me when they're that old. Like every time she's wide, I'd be scared if I bumped her, I'd break something. You know, I'd just be like...
Yeah.
You know, but I was, honestly, man, I was really ashamed when I really look at the behavior of our country when our president, whether you like him or not, didn't want to vote for him or whatever, is over in another country as representing the United States, and over here, the running thing was, we want him in prison. We can't wait to send him. So everything he's doing is being undermined.
Yeah.
And while it's scoring points for them, and it's embarrassing us. They're hurting us. It's no longer about the Mueller report, whatever. It's about embarrassing America as much as they can for their own benefit. And that, to me, is just tragic that that's where we're at in this country, that it's no longer country first. It's me first. Because even if I had complete beef with President Trump and I didn't support his presidency and I didn't vote for him, he's going in somebody else's yard. I'm going to support him while he's there, wait for him to get home, and then continue while I'm beefing with him.
Yeah.
But we don't do that anymore.
No, that's true.
And it's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's sad. Well, that was a pretty good point to end on, unless anybody else wants to drag the show down.
I'm going to drag it down.
Yeah, I knew it. Pete always likes to drag it down.
I want to say, I love what you said about the World War II vets, because we think of these guys as Rambo, looking like Tyrus, storming the beaches. These guys were 5'9", 140 pounds on average. And what those men did, I mean, you did such a great job with that.
Thank you. Now we should end this segment on a compliment from me.